Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series. How's everybody doing today? So nice to see all your smiley faces watching from all around the world. Our fantastic international audience we call the JMS Lovity Squad. Yeah, that's the folks who really watch and support what we've been doing here. And we've done over 670 episodes and counting of the Jim Masters Show live entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series. That's really a mouthful, isn't it? But I'm the one who created it, so I guess I'm the one who has to say it. So good to see you guys. Hope you're having a good day. And if you're not, you know this is the place to come to be entertained, informed, and inspired. And boy, do we have an amazing guest here. Now, we have an opportunity for you if you would like to converse during the live show. We're live right now, but of course, we'll be archiving this episode, and we archive all of our episodes on our YouTube channel, which is Jim Masters TV. Matter of fact, we encourage and invite you to subscribe to the channel, Jim Masters TV. Share the lovity. Give this episode a thumbs up, like if you love it, and all the episodes you enjoy. Like, subscribe. There's no cost to subscribe, and leave a comment for us as well. But when you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, there's something very, very special that happens. You have the opportunity as well to be not only part of the Lovity family, and again, there's no cost for that. Click the notification bell. You'll be kept abreast of all the great episodes and specials and on location episodes we do and host chat Lovity episodes and lots of surprises. But also when you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, you get the exclusive opportunity to chat live with us, with each other, during the live show in our JMS live chat room. Why am I pointing there? Because that's where it is on my screen. It's right there. And I see the comments coming in already from the Lovity Squad, the viewers who watch and support what we do here. So if you would like the opportunity to chat and have us see your chat right now in the JMS live chat room, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a very special gift for the Jim Masters Show subscribers to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Folks chatting already. It's good to see everybody. We're going to take a look and sprinkle in some of those comments as well. Don't forget, if you enjoy this episode, during the episode, you can do super chat, super emojis, super stickers, super thanks that help support the series as well. A lot of you like to do that. And busy day. I had like 5 radio shows and a TV shoot, and then I've got a TV news interview shoot tomorrow morning. Then we've got another live show episode of the Jim Master Show Live. We have 2 on Sunday, and Sunday afternoon we have our 2-year anniversary celebration episode with surprise guests. Yes, that's coming up as well. So busy weekend with a lot of talking and a lot of lovity. Hey, we've got a very special guest. Very excited to welcome this guest live and direct from just outside the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. William J. Jankowski is joining us, co-author of actress Patty Duke's last book, but much more than just that. Let me tell you, he is not only the co-author of the legendary actress Patty Duke's final book, In the Presence of Greatness, My 60-Year Journey as an Actress, but he became fascinated with Patty Duke when he would watch her on the reruns of course, the iconic The Patty Duke Show. And this was back when he was 8 years old. Soon after, he began collecting any film or television program in which Patty Duke was featured. 10 years later, he had the great fortune of meeting Patty Duke, and a close friendship began between the two that would last some 18 years. Since receiving his degree from Widener University, he has been interviewed for such publications as USA Today and consulted on biographical television specials about Patty Duke's work for A&E Television Network, ABC, Lifetime, and E! In addition, he wrote the speech given about Duke when she received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, as well as her final biography for Playbill magazine. He also served as an associate producer for a gala tribute to Patty Duke in San Francisco. This is the first book. Patty Duke was, of course, as we know, an American actress, as well as a significant mental health advocate. Over the course of her acting career, she was the recipient of course, an Academy Award, 2 Golden Globe Awards, 11 Emmy nominations, 3 Primetime Emmy Awards, the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And at age 15, she portrayed Helen Keller in the film The Miracle Worker. That was back in 1962, a role she had originated on Broadway She, of course, won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for that performance. And the following year, she played the dual role, of course, you guys may remember, identical cousins, Kathy and Patty Lane, on her own show, The Patty Duke Show. Yes, as identical cousins on The Patty Duke Show, her name became an American household word. And her later work included Valley of the Dolls, yeah, My Sweet Charlie, a later television remake of The Miracle Worker, and dozens of other productions established really her as one of America's leading actresses. And of course, she progressed to more mature roles too, in The Valley of the Dolls and so much more. The latter earned her the Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in the film The Natalie. And, she also served as the president of the Screen Actors Guild, too. Now, she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder back in 1982. And following the diagnosis, she devoted much of her time advocating for and educating the public on mental health. She has other books that were written and penned as well. 2 New York Times bestselling memoirs, Call Me Anna, and A Brilliant Madness, where she detailed her struggle with bipolar disorder, becoming an advocate to those with mental illness. And Patty Duke, unfortunately, did pass away in 2016 at the age of just 69, leaving behind an extraordinary show business legacy. So many incredible works. What's really wonderful about this story is the friendship. And this book here that we're talking about, In the Presence of Greatness, My 60-Year Journey as an Actress, also it's illustrated with over 70 rare photos from both Patty Duke's career and personal life, many never before published from her own personal collection. And they eventually wrote the book, together. And it's about her 6-decade career in show business. Unfortunately, it wasn't published until 2 years after her death. But Williams says he knows she'd love the finished product of In the Presence of Greatness, My 60-Year Journey as an Actress. It's really an extraordinary, incredible book. I actually have my copy, gang, and Bill was so generous to send me the copy. I read it cover to cover. It is a page turner. It is beautifully written, beautifully penned, and this really is something that I highly recommend you add to your reading collection. We're going to be celebrating the life of Patty Duke on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Again, there is the book, Up Close and Personal. Patty Duke, again, an iconic figure in American film and television and so much more. And of course, we definitely miss her greatly. She contributed so much. And but what I really love is the fact that she was such an advocate for those struggling with mental health issues and conditions. I mean, look at these sweet photos, and it brings back some iconic memories. Of course, the Patty Duke Show, and there she is with Helen Keller. Isn't that something? What an iconic photo that is as well. And there they are together. What a wonderful friendship that they were able to forge and form. That photo courtesy of Bill, as is this beautiful one as well. I mean, this is really something absolutely, look at that. Pure joy in Patty's eyes and in Bill's eyes as well. Very lucky to have had this once in a lifetime meeting, huh? Absolutely. And again, we miss Patty greatly, as does Bill and the world. We got a bevy of comments built up, gang. I know it's bringing back a lot of memories when you see, things like this and so much more. There was just something about her. I loved her when she did TV movies, and she just really was very, very special. And it's really our pleasure to have an opportunity to welcome Bill to the show, because we're going to be talking not just about the book, but about their friendship, this iconic friendship. There's like a 32-year age difference, but when there's a friendship, none of that matters. And he was able to write about it in a beautiful way. And he's got a lot of other cool things up his sleeve. Let's welcome him live and direct to the Jim Masters Show Live, coming to us from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. There's our friend Bill. Welcome to the show, Bill. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Jim. Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. This really, I know it's very touching and it's very moving for you whenever we talk about Patty, of course, it is as it is for many of us, but you had this really special and rare friendship that oftentimes doesn't happen in the way that yours has. Yes, the age difference, but more than that, just the exposure to somebody who is iconic, who is a Hollywood veteran, Hollywood legend. But that was Patty Duke, right? She was warm, she was approachable, she was affable in so many ways. How did you guys initially meet, and how did that friendship form, Bill?
You're very observant. That's exactly what she was like in person. Um, I had written, as you mentioned in your introduction, I had written her. Well, actually, like I said, I started like you said rather when I was 8 years old. I had uh, discovered her on Nick at Night reruns back in 1988. And I really thought they were two different people, which was, that's just goes to show what a good job she did.
Absolutely. She was
Especially at 16
incredible.
years old when the show started.
I
She was,
think we all did. We thought that
yeah,
it was a twin sister.
yeah. I didn't know where, I knew Patty was Patty kind of thing, but Kathy I thought was a different person. So, um, and then the Miracle Worker. I studied Helen Keller in school, and we watched the Miracle Worker, and that more solidified it. And then when let me think, in 1990, when I was 10, she played herself in Call Me Anna, which was based
Yeah,
on her autobiography. Uh,
right.
and there was just something I don't know. She asked me once, like, what was it? And I said, I don't know. Something just clicked. That's the only way I could. I was 10. I was in fifth grade.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how. I don't even know how to explain it now. But it just, I just wanted to know everything and see everything about this person. And and again, like you said, there was like a 32-year age difference. She's not of my generation, but there was just this fascination with her. And
Yeah.
once I started, it's like I couldn't go back. And
What do you think it was? What was it? Because there's so many phenomenal actresses and
yeah,
actors and people during those time periods of the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, in all these iconic shows that are all in reruns now and still beloved. The Mary Tyler Moores, the Barbara Edens,
hmm,
the Lucys, the Elizabeth Montgomerys, the Florence
you're
Hendersons,
naming a lot of my favorites. Yeah, yeah,
me
yeah,
too, yeah. The Carol Burnett's,
yeah.
and I was lucky to chat with both Carol and Florence, and they
Wow,
were, like, with Patty, well, Carol still is, and
yeah,
Florence was,
right.
just as warm, approachable,
Yeah.
affable, funny, real, and authentic as you would hope, which I know with what you know with Patty, she was the real deal as well. What was it for you, that spoke to you about Patty Duke? Was there, did she remind you of somebody in the family? Was there just something that you were drawn to about Patty's spirit and her personality that really connected with your heart and soul?
I remember the first time when we met in person when I was 18. She asked me that, and I didn't know how to answer it. And then she said her take on it was that maybe I was felt sorry for this person because the movie Colmiana demonstrated, as she said, some of the ugliest times of her life, with her going through her bipolar disorder before she was successfully diagnosed and treated at age 35. And maybe I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Um, that's I was 10, and I didn't even know what bipolar or manic depression, as it was called back then, was. But there was just something. I think I liked the survivor in her, even at such a young age. I think I really. I don't want to say identified with that because I was so young, but there was just something about it that she was like a hero to me, and to see everything that she overcame, and that even at 10, I was able to. I was astute enough to recognize that.
Mm, that's
Hmm.
fantastic. So here you are watching and enjoying her career. What was the initial approach? Did you send a letter? How did you actually make contact with the Patty Duke?
That's exactly what I did actually. So when I was, let's see, 17, so that was about 7 years into the fandom, if you will.
Yeah.
I found a at my local Barnes and Noble, I found a celebrity address book, and I knew she lived in Idaho, but I didn't know the exact address. She wasn't listed, of course, and but they did have an address for her in this book. So I wrote a letter and included my. I was a senior in high school at the time, so I included my new wallet-sized picture so she could see what I look like, and some rare videos that I figured she may not have of her career from back when, and wrote a very heartfelt letter by hand about just everything she meant to me. And I wish I had a copy of the letter, but I don't. Um, and mailed it with my email address I had mentioned in there. And then about 5 days later, I got a reply. I got an email from her husband saying that they read the letter and thought it was the nicest one they'd ever read in all those years. And let's keep in touch. Here's our email address. Let's keep in touch. And so I was 17 at the time, and she 2 months later, if you remember pre-social media days, like the
Oh,
AOL
yeah.
chat rooms in the 90s, remember those?
Sure.
We're
Yeah.
talking 1998 here, early 98.
MySpace.
Yeah, even before that, predating all that. And there was the celebrity chats were like AOL celebrity chats and stuff like that. So I decided to do my own on AOL in my own private room. So I had them create a screen name, invited her and her husband in, and I invited, like, I don't know, 20 guests or something, whatever it was. And I hadn't even met her in person yet, at this, mind you, at this point. And I'm 17, and she's sitting there for 3 hours answering questions for me from these people, these
Wow.
fans. And it was just so, they were so wonderful and gracious to do that, to spend their time doing that.
Mm.
And to this day, that's still, I thought that was so cool. I mean, I'm 17 and she hadn't even met me yet, and she went above and beyond already like that. So
Mm.
that just goes to show what kind of character she had, and her husband Mike has still as well. Yeah,
What's really amazing is that the letter made it to her, because a lot of times, people would write, especially as a kid or a teenager, write letters to their favorite stars,
yeah.
singers, and entertainers, actors, actresses, performers, whatever it may be, athletes, and it never filters through. There are all these walls and all these people
I
that are in between.
I
It
got
got right
lucky.
to her.
Right,
Wow.
and considering what I later found out was that she didn't live at that address anymore, so thankfully it was forwarded. So, she had since moved, same town, different house. So, I was very lucky that that got to them.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Wow.
otherwise, who knows if I ever would've. I'm sure I would have eventually, but it might have been a different, whatever. It would have
Yeah.
been a different story.
So
So,
you write the letter, and the letter makes it to her. They think it's one of the greatest letters she's ever received, and that starts, that beginning. The ball starts rolling from there. But what happens from there? Was a contact now made that stayed from that initial letter? How did it go from there?
yeah, so at the time, they were planning on doing a TV movie reunion of the Patty Duke Show. So that was in very early stages at this point. And of course, I was very enthralled at any news on this. So,
Yes.
and again, we're corresponding by, not, well, there wasn't text yet, but AIM, or AOL Instant Messenger, or email at that point. And so they introduced me to Jim Green, who was going to be the executive producer, and had done a few movies with her in the past. And so he gave me her husband Mike gave me his email address, Jim's, and he started filling me in on plot details, what was going on and stuff. And then later on, this is early '98, and then by late '98, they were going to be shooting up in Canada, in Montreal. And he asked if I wanted to come up on the set, and I didn't even like dreamt of that. So by this time, I'm a freshman in college, 18 by this point, and I just couldn't even fathom it. So, but yeah, of course, I jumped at that opportunity and flew up to Montreal, and that's where I met Patty, or Anna. It's again her. If I call her Anna, you guys know, because her book was "Call Me Anna," and that's what we refer to her as. So you know who I'm talking about.
Right,
Um,
because that was her name,
yeah,
really. Yeah.
yeah. So we I met her on the set of the reunion movie. I mean, at the College of Montreal, was supposed to be Brooklyn Heights High, in the thing. She was a teacher. Patty Lane was a teacher now, and 30 some odd years later. And there was a film, it was a scene, and the movie's on Tubi. It's streaming now for free if anyone wants
Oh,
to see it.
Tubi. I love Tubi. Don't you love Tubi? Wow.
Uh, so last I looked, it's on there anyway. But there was a scene that took place in a library, and that was the scene. It was a long room, and I was at the other end behind all the cameras and everything, and watching them film. And then all of a sudden, there she was, like so close, but yet so far, it seemed. And so I had to wait for them to do an X amount of takes. And then she did come by. Jim had told her that I would be there. I wasn't sure if it was she knew that day or whatever, but I was holding her dog, her Yorkie Cricket that she traveled with. So I don't
Yes.
know if she thought, "Is this Bill?" or if, um, or "Who the hell is this holding my dog?" So so, I
Yeah.
so right before she came up to me, she had like like an inquisitive look on her face,
Hmm.
and I handed the dog, I guess, to Jim, I think it was, or it could have been my friend Carrie who came with me as well, who was part of this trip as well.
Yeah.
And and then Jim got literally in, but it wasn't Jim, it had to be Carrie. So Jim got literally in between Anna and myself and said, "Anna, I'd like you to meet Billy Jankowski." And she said, "Oh, there you are." And then she gave me a big hug.
Wow.
And then after the hug ended, big bear hug she was famous for. A little thing she was, but she gave big hugs. And she says, "Ah, what the hell? You came all the way to Canada," and she gave me another one. So post 9/11, where it was easier to get into Canada.
So she
So
remembered. She didn't forget. She
yeah,
remembered. You
yeah,
made an indelible, as much as she made an indelible impression on you,
yeah.
her response was equivalent. And that for you must have been an extraordinary feeling.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, I'm a kid. I mean, to me, I'm 42 now. Like, so, like, as a 42-year-old, it would, but as an 18-year-old, I mean, my God, it was just I was on cloud nine. I mean, not only was I seeing her, I was seeing her act in a movie, knowing I was there behind the camera, which was super cool. And when you'd watch the finished product later on, and getting to spend time with her. I mean, she had lunch with us there, and she didn't have to do that. The producers, I remember, mentioned that they would soon be working with a very famous actress who they had nothing but kind things to say about, who they'd worked with previously on their next project. And they said she would never, ever have lunch with the crew and everything, or dinner or whatever, a meal with the crew like Anna would. She would have it, she said she's very sweet. She would have it alone in her trailer. But Anna liked to pal around with everyone. She was not like that at all. She was just one of the guys, if you will. So she was not the star, so to speak, or whatever. She didn't like to be treated like that at all. She liked to be treated like every person.
Do you think she at all thought of Anna and Patty as two separate people, kind of like the identical cousins on the Patty Duke
Yeah,
show in a way?
yeah, there was a bit of a dichotomy there, I think. I think she thought Patty paid the bills, and but Anna was what her true soul was. So she didn't
Yeah.
mind being called Pat. I know before I knew her, she would say there was a time where she didn't like to be called Patty. If you called her Patty, she wouldn't respond to you. After she took the name Anna back sometime in her 30s, that her parents gave her. But she, later got healthier with that. And so she responded to Patty or Anna, or just about anything. So
Yeah.
she was, it didn't, it wasn't a thing for her. But
Right.
Patty Duke was, I guess, a commodity, if you will, and
Yes.
that's what, like I said, paid the bills.
Yeah.
But she really was Anna. And if you get, it's funny because before I met her, I always referred to her as Patty, never Anna. And
Right.
after meeting her, I never looked back. It's been Anna ever since. I can't
Ever
do. It's hard for
since.
me to say. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And her name was I don't know if people know this, but her name was taken away from her as a little girl, as a young actress, in such a terrible way that it's very traumatizing to her. So it's very important for her to bring Anna back.
To bring her back. I remember those reports, the Ross family and just all
Yeah,
of that with detailed some of that in the other books too, the critically
yeah,
acclaimed books.
yeah.
Um, a lot of the child stars at that time, not all, but some of them were really under the thumb of the parents, the grandparents, the manager, the
Mhm.
guardian, the custodian, whoever it is. And she obviously had experience. I know she shares that, but she had experienced that early on, and it was quite difficult at times, wasn't it, Bill?
Yeah, again, not, this she kind of went through that years before I ever met her. She was in her early 50s by the time I came around, but to meet her. But yeah, it was difficult. I mean, she lived with managers who certainly gave her a career that she admitted she probably would not have had otherwise. Slim to no chance of that. But they also stripped her of her family, um, and the wife. It was a husband and wife couple, and the wife one day said to her when she was 8, Anna Marie's dead, you're Patty now. And that had a traumatic effect on her, in which she would joke, many years on the couch with a psychiatrist over
Yes.
that. So yeah, in her 30s, when she was married to John Aston during that time period, she reclaimed Anna in her personal life. So people who knew her would call her Anna, not Patty. And then, and of course, she later called her first book that, Call Me Anna. So that's where that whole thing comes from. But then she became to a place where she became comfortable with it all. She
Yeah.
realized Patty was part of her.
Patty was part of
That
her.
whole thing. Yeah. So it didn't upset her if somebody called her Patty by any means. Yeah.
I would imagine, having this admiration for her talent and for her personality early on as an 8-year-old, and then
Mhm.
this relationship, this friendship continuing, that as you learned more about her and about who Anna, underneath the Patty Duke appearance and branding, who Anna really was, you grew even close with her. You appreciated her struggle, her talent, what she had to do to make it happen, what she had to do to get up in the day and just get out there and be Patty Duke. It probably might have even brought you closer. Where oftentimes we have these images of the personalities, and we don't want the image touched, tarnished, altered, or even tweaked. She was always so raw and open and authentic in a beautiful way about her life and everything going along the way from childhood all the way up. I think for you, it probably made you respect her even more than you already had, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. She was, this is cliche, but she was real. She was, uh, the last time I ever saw her in person when we were working on this book back in 2014. I don't remember how it came up conversation, but I said to her, I said, people have asked me if you're how you are in real life, like one on one or whatever. And I said, well, if you've ever seen her on a talk show, and I told somebody this, um, she's exactly how she is in person. How she is in the talk show is exactly how she is. She's very friendly like that and warm. I said the only difference is she's a little bawdier in real life, and she got a big kick out of that. She she was a lady, of course, but she did drop the occasional four-letter word and all that, which I always thought was fun. So yeah,
Right, that would surprise people when
yeah.
you see her in shows and
Well, the first
productions.
time I ever heard her say something like that really was in Montreal the first time. We were watching her film, and the sugar honey iced tea word, she said to herself when she thought she messed up a scene or something, she would walk behind the camera at a camera viewing and mouth, to herself. Disappointed
Rocka,
herself or
rocka, yeah.
whatever. She screwed up the scene. So that I got, and then we got to watch the dailies, which, if people don't know, are
Yeah,
what they filmed every day and whatever. So we watched about a week's worth of
yeah.
those in the producer's trailer, which she, it was funny when she found out we watched them there. We did not watch them with her. We watched them with the producer, and seeing her do that a lot too during that. So was
Yeah.
funny to 18-year-old me, and yeah.
See,
I got a kick out of that. Yeah.
so you had an opportunity to stay in touch all these years. Would you see her again and again on occasion at various events and functions and things of that nature over the years?
Yes, I kind of became a groupie, if you will.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
there was that time, in Montreal that I've mentioned, and I mean, and I want to mention about that trip too, how magical it was. not only did I get to spend time with her, and I also got to meet the majority of the rest of the original Patty Duke Show cast. They all came back.
Yes.
I got to sit and have a drink with Eddie Applegate, who played her boyfriend Richard in the hotel. You could drink at 18 in Canada, and so we were able to go to his room and like take pictures and sign autographs. And he gave me his home phone number. I mean, it was so cool. I thought.
Wow.
And then watch them film. Bill Shallard, who played Popo, her father, ran
Hmm.
into him in the lobby and had a nice conversation with him. And it was just surreal. It was surreal is the best adjective to describe it. And then to be capped off, where she
Mm.
invited me to her hotel room the last night there, uh, and gave me is December of '98. She gave me a Christmas gift, and my friend Carrie as well. She gave us Christmas gifts, and
Oh,
it was just amazing. And she bought me a watch and to carry a pin, and it was just, I mean, I think of it now and I still can't believe it 24 years later. Uh,
yeah.
and spent 3 hours in her hotel room just chatting and then signing autographs toward the end. I mean, she signed over 60 things for us. She was signing things that we didn't even ask for her to sign,
Yeah.
stuff,
Which is a
including something
beautiful
else behind
thing.
me. If I don't know if I don't know if
Oh,
you're
they've been asking about that
okay.
incredible room,
Yeah.
and they've been commenting. They're commenting, the Lovedies are commenting throughout. And
Yeah.
there is something catching my eye above one of the framed prints. There is, looks like a plaque. Tell us about that and tell us about the entire room because it's fantastic.
So yeah, this is my well, you could see I'm a big Betty Davis fan as well. So the Betty Davis portion of my wall is to my right. But I got Patty Duke stuff on the other side and in front of me too, where you can't see on the other side of my computer here. But that thing, it says Pate Duck on it. And then what that is that when she arrived in Canada for the reunion movie in '98, um, they French Canadian. So the driver, they had when CBS, the network picked her, they picked her up. They held that sign up for her. The driver did to greet her at the airport. It's on an old tie box, Hugo Boss tie box. And then so she gave it to me, and she got a pate duck like, and she signed it, which you can't see in the bottom, but she signed it the Montreal pronunciation, Patty Duke, and gave it to me that night in her hotel room, which is really really cool. She gave me call sheets, she gave me scripts, she signed everything. I mean, just she gave me a fax. Her itinerary, her a travel itinerary that on a fax sheet that she gave to me with her home phone number on it that she gave to me, wanted me to use and signed that even. I mean, if I stood, I think she would have tattooed her signature on me or something if I stood.
Yeah.
I think she got a kick out of the age difference. She really did, especially in the beginning. An 18-year-old kid being that infatuated with her who was in her 50s at that point, from a generation, my parents' generation, not my own. So,
So, do you think what did you think she felt? Did she feel that you were like a son to her, or what did you feel was what she felt? You obviously felt wonderful things for her. What do you
yeah,
think it was that she felt about you? Because she obviously gave you the time of day and the time and attention, which is a rare, beautiful thing to have from somebody again who is in that
yeah.
stratosphere.
Yeah, it's a good question. I know she felt very maternal toward me. I mean, I had a mom who I lost last year, but
Oh,
I had a mother I loved very much, and she has sons who she loved very much. So there was no competition or anything like that, anything silly like that. But she used to refer to me as her godson. I guess that's a good way to put it, like that. So, and she was kind of like a fairy godmother in a lot of ways. She made a lot of magic happen in my life. So, yeah.
yeah. I would imagine too, over time, the more you learned about her, you almost felt protective of her in a way.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I
If
would
if
imagine
she
that,
got
right?
a bad review in something, or like a TV guide, if a new movie of hers was airing, a TV movie, and they didn't like her in it, I would take it personally, kind of thing. Like, how dare you? And
Right.
she wouldn't even, she'd be like, ah,
You're
F
like,
'em,
"Hey, I've been
whatever.
there
She'd be like
before."
F them and move on if she even knew about it. She didn't read her own reviews, but yeah, yeah.
It's better off not to, they say
Right, I
anyway.
agree. I don't
Well,
read the reviews for the book. I don't read them. So, yeah. Uh,
so
yeah.
she wrote the 2 other books and
Mhm.
then had, this idea came along, and tell us about the inspiration for this book and the whole process, how it all got started, and take us from there because it really is something very, very special.
Sure.
It's
So over
Patty
the
Duke's final book,
yeah, which I'm so honored to be partly
part of
responsible for.
this. Yes, yes, in a
um,
big way too.
yeah. So over the years, I'll answer first a little bit of what you asked me a little bit ago. You know, if she was doing a play somewhere, I would go. I later started assisting her at different conventions and stuff like that. She would ask me to assist her there, and it just, like I said, a friendship just kept going, and I think got stronger actually as we progressed, as the years went by. And I became, went from a kid to a young man, and um, so there was always that, and I always wanted, for many many years, I wanted to do a book on her career. She'd done a wonderful autobiography, and then also a great book about her bouts with bipolar disorder.
Right.
But I wanted to do something about her career, and she would often tell me these stories about these great stories, because I love old Hollywood, as you could tell from looking behind me. And I
Yes.
loved hearing stories that, during dinner or whenever, that she'd tell me about, Betty Davis, even, who's there in the background, or any Helen Keller, or Sharon Tate, or Anne Bancroft, or any number of people, many of them who were gone by this point. So finally, she was doing a local play, donating her time. Her and her husband were doing playing Santa and Mrs. Claus in a local Christmas review there in North Idaho, where they live. And they invited me to stay with them, my partner and I, to stay with them, instead of getting a hotel, and see the show a few times. So we did that, and then it was they were putting up. This is December, obviously, of 2013. So we were putting up their Christmas tree, and we were helping decorate and put it up, and getting the stuff out, which is really cool. Be doing that, and then we went into the kitchen. It's just Anna and me in the kitchen, and then I finally, after many many years of being a coward about it, I finally mustered up the courage to ask her uh, if she would do a book like that with me. I said, "You are the first to admit I know more about your career than you do." And she, she always said, she'd ask me, "Bill, what's the name of the movie I do with Martin Sheen?"
It
Like
should
that
come to you, right?
kind of thing. Yeah. So,
What was the one with Martin Sheen? Yeah, there was one with Martin Sheen.
yeah, it's a good matter of justice. Yeah,
Yeah.
FYI.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
also known as Final Justice, its working title, which is DVD title as well. So, see, I know all this stuff. Uh,
Yeah. No, it's great. Yeah. I
so
remember her in so many of those. I
yeah,
know a lot of
countless.
people know her from Patty Duke, but I loved her dramatic work as well.
She did such good work up until the end. I mean, she really, really did, and she didn't. A lot of people who are bipolar are, I think, artists especially, are afraid they're going to lose their creativity once they're on medication and successfully treated. But it didn't happen with her. Like she said, like she felt she could now form a thought, which she was not starting to be able to do before diagnosis and treatment. But she, so anyway, so I said to her, I said, a lot of these people that you tell me these stories of are gone, and people are starting to forget in some cases. I said, we need to tell your stories while you're still here,
Yes.
and so that your stories live on, so they don't die when you die. And
Right.
I didn't know how, um, I didn't mean to phrase things that way. And, little did I know that the book would happen and not be published till after she passed on. But that's how I approached it with her. And she thought it was a wonderful idea, especially paying tribute to those. Because really, a lot of the time, we try not to be too Pollyanna in the book with stuff. But she really did have, and there's a line somewhere in there that says something like, I really was very magical to me. Like I really, 95% of the people I worked with, she really loved working with.
Yes.
So, there were a few hiccups there, here and there.
At
Some who were
5%.
some horror she didn't want to talk about in the book, despite me wanting to talk about it because I thought they made good stories. But I had to respect that. But
90, like 95%. That's a high ratio, actually.
yeah, especially over a 6-decade career,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she really got along with everybody, for the most part. Very few. She always said, "You have to be a real jerk to me for me not to like you." you know? So, she and trust me, there are some.
Right, sure,
So,
absolutely.
but she loved people, in general. And so anyway, so she wanted to do this, I think, mostly to as a tribute to those, especially those who had already passed on. For her to be able to, like I said, pay tribute and just say these kind things and talk about her,
Yeah.
reminiscences with them. And we did the book in a very, it was intentional, very conversational tone.
Yes, it's as
Um,
if you're talking directly to me or to the
yes,
reader, like she's speaking. We're having coffee and cheesecake
yes,
at a table, and she says, "Let me tell you about this,"
that's
and
exactly what we wanted to
which is
achieve.
a phenomenal way to do it because I think
Yeah,
it's more
yeah.
humanistic and more relatable to an audience.
And I mean, and I knew her so well that I could write stuff, not that I forged anything, but there we are there. That's the
That's
kitchen
a
where I approached her about the
great shot. I know, huh?
yeah. Yeah, that was yep, that's there's nothing written on that pad. That was fake. We didn't write anything by hand. But we did work on that computer, which is the same computer I'm on right now. That
Is it
laptop.
really?
MacBook. I need to get a new one. Yeah. And that iPad I don't have. Well, I gave it to my father, but anyway. But yeah, we recorded everything on that iPad, all our conversations together, and there we are with Gloria Vanderbilt's book. This who wrote the forward to the book.
That's
Little
right.
did we know then, that she'd be writing the forward. She was an actress. A lot of people don't realize briefly mostly in the 50s, and they did a couple of live TV dramas together in the late 50s when Anna was a child, and they
Mhm.
struck up a bond that they stayed with them forever. So I
Yeah.
approached Gloria. This is a cool. Let me just get on a tangent about Gloria Vanderbilt for a second. So uh, it was down to her and another actress, who Anna was very close with. We discussed, that we wanted to write the forward. So after Anna had passed and we got a publisher and things were moving forward with the book, I approached the one other actress who said yes initially and then kept coming up with excuses not to, and then finally bailed after me waiting a year. And so then, which disappointed me greatly. But God, how lucky! I didn't think for a minute I could get Gloria Vanderbilt. A friend of hers, Dinah Merrill had passed away.
Dina Merrill, yes,
Yeah,
sure.
and
Yeah.
um, someone had posted that on Facebook, and someone said that uh, that Gloria Vanderbilt had her own Instagram where she was displaying her artwork. So I went on Instagram and saw that was true, and then
Well,
I
she
just
had her own Instagram,
yeah, I
yeah.
just
Who would
decided
think, right?
no, she was over 90, and I decided to take a chance and write a private message or a DM, and then I got
DM Gloria Vanderbilt.
and then I got a response, I guess the next day, I think it was, and asked to read the chapter on her because I mentioned that we have a chapter on you in the book or on Miss Vanderbilt in the book. So I emailed the chapter, and she read it and enjoyed it, and then agreed to
Wow.
do the forward, and it was just friggin' amazing. And I had that forward. She was, I think, 93 at the time, and
Yeah.
I had the forward emailed to me within 3 days, I think it was. I mean,
Wow.
it's a short little forward in the beginning of the book, but it's very heartfelt and it's very, it's beautiful. I think it's short and to the point and
Mm,
beautiful. And I was just so lucky. And then she sent me the most wonderful email because I sent her an advanced copy of the book as a thank you for doing that.
yeah,
And she wrote me the most
so
beautiful
cool.
email that I'll always cherish about that. And what an important book she thought it was. And yeah, just I unfortunately never got to meet her in person, but that correspondence meant the world to me. Yeah.
Do you ever have any correspondence with her son, Anderson Cooper?
Well, what happened? That's a good question. Years later, well, actually, it was emailed to me from the forward was emailed to me from Anderson Cooper's personal email address.
And for
So
anybody watching too, that might be breaking news that they didn't know that Anderson
yeah,
Cooper, who you see on CNN, his mother, Gloria Vanderbilt, yes.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So so he wrote to me. He's like, my mom wants to know. Let me know if it's okay. Let us know if it's okay, and whatever. When he sent the forward, and then later on, years later, he was interviewed on something after she had passed and said that. So I thought I was talking to like staff of hers. Um, when I approached in the DM and stuff. No, it was him
It was
doing her
Anderson.
Instagram. He later revealed, and little did I know I was talking with him that whole time, not just that one email. Yeah.
How
So,
cool
and
is
then it was
that,
later
huh?
with her personally. Uh, After, like I said, after the book came out, and I sent her. There's 2 photos in the book of them together, Anna and Gloria together, and I sent them to her as well with the book, which she said she framed right away and put in her house. So.
Somebody asked if your own mother and maybe other family members got a chance to meet Patty Duke as well.
Oh, good question. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I get distracted with the comments that I would not
Oh,
paying
no,
attention to you, so I'll read them
no.
afterwards. But I haven't
Yeah,
been
no
doing
worries.
this.
Yeah.
But thank you guys.
They're sharing stories. They love the photos. They love the conversation. They're very
Good.
active,
Thank,
lovedies.
thank you.
But somebody did ask that. Did your mother and others in your family get a chance to meet her as well?
Yes, yes. The first time when I mentioned in Canada, I was 18. I never traveled by myself. I hadn't been on an airplane in several years, so my dad went with me to Canada, and so he was in the hotel room with us and as well with all that, and that was surreal. And I remember him on the phone with my mom that night, just saying like it was like they meeting Anna and myself that it was like they knew each other forever. That they were like friends forever. Um, yeah, at one of those conventions that I talked about, there's one in 2010. You and I were talking before the show about something else about this convention, but yeah, my mom came to meet her for the first time there. My mom was nervous at first, I could
Sure.
tell, but she was, Anna calmed her down pretty quick. Well, she put her at ease quickly, and then
And did she call her Anna or did she refer to her as Patty
I'm pretty
just
sure
as
she
a
called her
habit?
Anna. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think. And then about a year later, um, they got to meet when Anna and Mike came over here for dinner. So my mom actually cooked for that. So that was
Wow.
before I was cooking.
You remember what it was that was served?
Oh, I remember what it was. Yeah, it was, and I now have the recipe from my mom, thankfully. So it was just spaghetti meatballs. It was. So yeah, I
Good
said
choice. That always works.
yeah, I had been. I mean, Anna had been on the road for a while between conventions and giving speeches on mental health, so they hadn't had a good, home cooked meal in a while.
Yeah.
And I know they had to pass by Pennsylvania to get to Rochester from. We were in Maryland doing a convention a few days earlier in Baltimore area. So I said, "Why don't you stop by?" So they
Yeah.
did, and they got a hotel room in the area. They were more than welcome to stay here, but they didn't want to intrude. And so they stopped over for dinner one night, and I have pictures. There's actually a picture in the back of the book of us with I can't see it right now, but where I'm, if you could do like a different angle, yeah, that poster that I'm pointing at right now from her is a Japanese poster for her 1969 film Me Natalie. So we have a picture of us posing in front of that, and I actually have the picture, the snapshot underneath the frame there. If you could see this little something there on the bottom corner of the frame of us there. So that was really cool. Yeah, and yeah, it was great. I mean, we wanted her to feel comfortable, but also I wanted to show off some of my collection as well. So I remember showing her some stuff and some old posters and different things, magazine covers, things like that. But
Yeah.
I tried to, I tried to keep that to a minimal, the fan stuff to a
Oh,
minimum.
yeah.
But
Absolutely.
no, we just had a great. It was just a surreal, wonderful. They were here for about 5 hours, and
Wow.
it was just a really cool. I mean, and I have a picture of that. Well, actually, it's right here. Forgot I have it here. Um, I don't know if how the camera will show this or not, but that's me and my parents with Anna. Um, back in that was taken in 2011.
If you tilt
So
it just a little forward, then you'll lose the shine. There
yeah.
you go.
Okay. Let's see. There we. Well,
That's
anyway.
really nice. That's
So
really nice.
so yeah, after my mom passed last year, I framed that. I thought it
Uh,
should have been framed a long time ago, but yeah.
that's
Um,
a wonderful opportunity. And
yeah.
in the book, again, there's so many
Oh yeah.
photos. There
I'm a
she
big
is,
picture person. I mean, I love to
Richard
read.
Crenna. And
Yeah, her favorite
I
walking
remember
star,
when she was with him in that, and Burt Reynolds. I
Reynolds.
mean,
Yeah.
it's
And the book is written in it's different chapters where we already said it's conversational tone, but it's every chapter is either a person she worked with or somehow knew in the business, or it's a movie title or TV title or some project title of that she was involved in and talks about that.
Without giving the book away, because we would love for
Mhm.
people to get it, is there an excerpt or anything from the book that you can share with our audience, our viewers?
Um, it's funny, I don't have the book in front of me.
Or a
I
particular
actually don't currently own a copy. Isn't that the
or
weirdest thing? I
they're
keep giving my
they're
copies
selling
away and
out like
ordering more for
hotcakes.
myself. Yeah,
Even the author
yeah.
doesn't have it.
I
But
only have the audiobook in front of me,
you got the and which is good for people to know too. There's an audiobook
I'll
available.
definitely talk
Is
about
there
that.
somebody in particular maybe that comes to mind discusses in the book,
We
perhaps?
do have actually, wait a minute. If I could go to um, the website's book, my website for the book is pattydukebook.com. I'll give that little plug, I guess. But if
So
I
do
get
they go there versus like Amazon or any
Well,
of that? Or
normally, yeah, I'm currently sold out. I need to get more from the publisher,
I
but
know.
when it is, I sign the copy for you, I inscribe it, and then also uh, I include like some bonus chapters that didn't make it into the final manuscript. I'll send like in an email, like a Word file or whatever, of some things that didn't make it into the final thing. But there is bringing up. I wasn't really planning on doing a plug for the website, but there it goes. But
Yeah, do it.
there
Yeah.
is where is it on here? There is a sample chapter. Here it is. So there is a sample chapter in there, which was on her good friend Sharon Tate, her co-star in Valley of the Dolls in 1967. And that was a very difficult chapter for her to write, for Anna to write. And because um, I think most of you know what happened to Sharon Tate just 2 years after they worked together. And they were very close friends in real life as well, as in the film. So Anna had never really spoken too much publicly before this book about Sharon Tate, other than she, loved her, but nothing this specific. So it was very. She. I mentioned this in the beginning of the book as well. In my words, that she. I remembered her. We were sitting in her living room, like that picture you showed before, and on the couch there. And I remember her looking up the skylights on the ceiling, and I remember her looking up and saying right before we started hitting record, "There it is. Yep." So she looked up from that couch. We were on that couch, and I remember her looking up the skylight and said, "Sharon, I hope I do right by you." And then
Mm,
we began.
mm.
It really meant a lot to her to get Sharon's story in there and not to make it just about the grisly murder. Sharon Tate, the woman, the person, not murder victim.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
there were, there were a number. Anne Bancroft was that was the first one Anna read after I wrote it.
Oh, and
And
Bancroft.
he had to call me about that. I remember about how pleased she was, and she's like, "God, you sound just like me," meaning stuff that I added in. She's like, "You sound like me." I'm like, "Well, I know you well enough, I guess." So yeah. So so I was able to add a thing here or there that I thought was not filler, but that I thought was pertinent. So that we may have not said in the conversation,
So
but
I mentioned in the beginning that this was something that was sort of underway, but was
mhm,
never completed, never finished. And you were able to make sure that this came to fruition and it was completed. This
yeah,
must have been something that was gnawing at you for a long time. Like, this has to come to
yeah.
fruition. We got to make sure. Tell us about that process where it was on its way
Yeah.
and then obviously
So
was not
so yeah, I
finished.
mean, and I don't really discuss this stuff because it's not my place to, but I mean, she'd been ill for a while,
Yeah.
including when we were working on the book. We didn't know her life would only last another year and a half, but so there kept being delays because of her health at various
Yeah.
times, and which I obviously understood. It's not like I was upset.
Yeah.
Well, I was upset, but not at her, obviously. But
Right.
so then after she passed away, I went up to Idaho for the public memorial that they had 2 weeks
Yeah.
after she passed. I went up for that, and then about 2 months later, I guess it was, I texted her husband Mike and asked, can we set up a time to talk on the phone? I said I can't ask you in person, but phone would be the best closest thing right now, rather than typing in a
Yeah.
text or something. So I called him
Exactly.
and I asked for permission to forge on because her part was really done. So it was just a part of editing and just kind of like cleaning some stuff up, that kind of stuff. Her part was done, thank God. So in terms of the book, it was okay, So, but anyway, but Mike, gave his full blessing with that, and I wouldn't be able to publish it without it,
Yeah,
because he now controls her estate. So
sure.
in her words, yeah, except for the beginning end, which are my words. But yeah, so it was, then it was on to look for a publisher, and it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be to find a publisher.
You thought it would be just automatic because it's
Yeah,
Patty
yeah,
Duke, right?
yeah, and she
Yeah.
tells some really cool stories about some cool people, and there even President Kennedy. I mean, all these different things, all these different people, and I got on multiple occasions without even reading any of the manuscript. I received, I'll say it bluntly, like they said it. She's dead. She can't promote it on talk shows.
Ah,
So yeah.
mhm. Yeah,
So that
right.
was that, and I'm like, well, f you, like I'll show you, kind of thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
so, yeah, we went with a small public. It's not self-published, but it is a small publisher, and they let me have free reign pretty much, which is great. And signed a nice editor, and I had lots of friends helping me edit as well. I couldn't have done without them. And I'm a picture person,
Yeah,
so I wanted pictures in
gotta
there.
get those
So
pictures in there.
so like you said, there's over 70 in there, and I even started to GoFundMe because I had to pay for the rights for a lot of those pictures. So, I raised something like $5,000 or whatever it was, from that. And then any of those people who donated are thanked, in the acknowledgments in the book. So
I
that's,
would imagine that it must have been a very daunting task too, especially after the passing. Well, during, but after the
yeah,
passing, because you really wanted to, you know, pay heed to her legacy. You really wanted to make sure that it was crafted in a way
yeah,
that people would really appreciate it. But you were very caring and attentive to now this being her final words, her final book for the public at large to consume. It must have, you must have had a few sleepless nights because it was just such a daunting task to take on,
I,
which you nailed beautifully.
thank you. Yeah, I really thank you so much. I really, yeah, it weighed on me a lot. It meant a lot to me. First, a dream I had for so long, but more importantly, to continue her legacy, even though she was gone. She once said, in an interview, about people in show business, not really stage so much, but theater. I mean, film and television actors, especially. Um, she says that's the magic in what we get to do is that it does live on. So most of our work doesn't live on, but for artists like that, so we could still see her and visit her even though she's not here anymore. She's still here though, in spirit, and we could still enjoy those performances forevermore. But and she's right. That's pretty cool, philosophy, I think. So
I would imagine that you probably would be listed if there was a list as one of her greatest fans, as much as a great friend, but in the annals of
yeah.
fandom, probably one of her top fans as well all these years.
Yeah, yeah, not to sound conceited, but yeah, I'd be one of the yeah, I have to I'd be lying if I said no. Yeah, yes, yes. So, yeah, I just it just was just fascinating. I just loved reading about her. I loved watching things. It was just like she just endlessly fascinated me.
So
Both
when
her work and both her career and also personal life. And I think too, like again, this woman that was undiagnosed bipolar and doing all these outrageous things because she was ill.
yeah,
That's not the woman I knew.
no.
So I think that fascinated me too. That I mean, she got that she triumphed through all this stuff and then became the wonderful, lovely, gracious, sweet, adorable woman that I knew and loved. Like I just thought was just so like
Right.
powerful.
See, that's the other side. We know her from her iconic career as a
Yeah,
film, television, stage actress, and so much more. But the mental health advocate, the champion that she was a whole other thing that she took upon herself, really to help people, guide people, encourage, and empower them. Tell us about that side from what you've learned that people, they might have just heard headlines about her, um, career and this struggle with the mental health issues, but don't really know that she was this extraordinary advocate for others who are going through it, really related to them and really did whatever she could and left this beautiful body of Hollywood work and stage work, but also this beautiful body of work for mental health advocacy, which is definitely something that we're talking about even these years since her passing, is
Mhm.
in the news today.
Absolutely, yeah. She decided to become public about her mental illness when it wasn't popular for celebrities to do so. She's often credited, I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, it could be, with being the first celebrity to come out as, again, bipolar was known as manic depressive back then, back in 1982. So, well, she was diagnosed in 82. She came out publicly with her book, Homiana, in 87 when she was 40. But she really was a pioneer with that. She gave speeches everywhere, and I would see her with people. People would come up at conventions or theater, whatever public thing we were attending, and would come up to her and just cry and say, "You saved my life," and she would cry and hug them too. And it was just a beautiful thing to see. I mean, it really was. She and a personal thing too. Like when I was a freshman in college, I had a psychology class and I did a thing on bipolar disorder and I showed a clip from Colmiana of her playing herself going through one of these episodes from her earlier life. And I'll never forget a guy, I can't remember his name, but I remember what he looked like, raising his hand in front of the whole class afterwards and saying, "I think I have this." And I told her that, and she was in tears, that. And I don't know what became of him, if he did, or whatever became of him with that. But yeah, I mean, she really
Mm.
touched. I mean, it was often a 50-50 thing when fans would approach her. It's sometimes about the career, about Hollywood, but just as much, it would often be about her mental health advocacy. Absolutely. Yeah.
And that
Um,
legacy really lives on in such a beautiful way. Now, you have this book here, which is so well received. What about more, plans for other works, other material, a book about the actual friendship itself and biopics and things of that nature?
there was funny you mentioned some of that stuff. Yeah, a few years ago, there was a talk of possibly very early stages where I didn't even tell anyone. This is right before COVID hit. About making possibly doing a documentary. There was a television producer who was interested, but with the everything going on with that since then, this was in 2020. That's been yeah. I maybe one day, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. Uh, Many people have approached me, especially recently, about doing a book about our friendship together. I've definitely debated on that. Yeah, I think it would be a good thing, but I need to feel ready to write it. And I I I think I can. I know I can. But there's some great stories to tell there, and if anything, it just shows more. It's not going to be Patty or Anna Dearest, or anything like that.
Right.
Obviously,
Right.
it'd be a loving tribute to her. But
Yeah.
it's just there is a great story there. I have to admit, but it's yeah. I mean, I would like to do something like that. Yeah, and the feedback's been so wonderful about this book that, and again, people are like when I do interviews, like now, about our friendship, they're fascinated about, as well, not just the book itself. So yeah, it's there is a story to tell there. So hopefully I will. Yeah.
You mentioned Betty Davis too. Do you ever see
Yeah.
anything doing anything in regards
There,
to Betty?
there's so much about her already, so I mean there are no books on Patty Duke except for the ones that she wrote. I feel that cover. I consider myself a fair expert at Betty Davis as well, her career and life, because I've read everything, because there's a lot to read. But with Patty Duke, there's not as much. So would feel more comfortable with that. I mean, I also like collect since I was a little kid. It's funny because in 5th grade, I mentioned 5th grade. In 5th grade, almost all of the actresses who I love and adore to this day started at that age. It's so weird. So I don't know what happened to me back in 1990-ish, but yeah, like Lucille Ball. Well, Lucille Ball was even earlier with
Oh,
Lucy
yeah.
runs, but any number of actresses you could see
Donna Reed?
see a little bit. I loved the Donna Reed show on. Yeah, you could see if I move my head, you can see I have that 4 panel thing. Those are 4 autographs inscribed to me personally. One is Mary Tyler Moore, aforementioned. One is Valerie Harper. One is Meredith Baxter, and one is Judith Light. And those are all. I've met them all, and they were all absolute favorites of mine and sweethearts.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
just they say don't meet your heroes, but thankfully, of all the celebrities I've met over the years, have been I could count on less than one hand the ones who were less than pleasant. Yeah.
Like I said, I had the pleasure of, with Carol Burnett and Florence Henderson. There are 2 that are still with us, God willing, and in their 90s now, which is very hard to believe, which have always been on my list, and that is Dick Van Dyke and
Mm.
Barbara Eden.
Uh,
Mm,
but yeah, yeah.
yeah. Dick Van
Um,
Dyke, amazing, just an amazing talent in so many different ways, just
he's brilliant. Yeah,
and
he's a funny man.
warm and funny and
Funny man.
approachable and
I've never heard a negative thing about him. Yeah,
right.
yeah. And again, that was what I loved with Anna is that telling these stories, not about Dick Van Dyke specifically, but like, I just loved hearing this stuff. And it didn't have to be salacious or anything. Like,
No.
this is not a salacious. I think we have some juicy stuff in our book, but it's not a salacious book by any means. That's not what Anna wanted, and neither did I, quite frankly. Though, like I said, there are a few people in there that I'm like, okay, tell me more, about some good gossip, some good dish there that aren't in the book, and some that are. But she didn't want this to be a salacious book, and we agreed with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it was. I just loved hearing those stories about what Helen Hayes was really like, or Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball is in the book, so
Mhm. Yeah.
um, about that. And she set some stuff straight about Lucille Ball because there was a scandal back when she was dating Desi Arnaz Jr. back in 1970.
That's right, Desi Arnaz Jr.,
So
yeah.
a lot of that is addressed and I should say updated from Call Me Anna, her first book. And some stuff she says in this book she never publicly said in any other forum. And she was very emotional when we were talking. I mean, if you listen to the audio of now, this is not the audio book, but the audio that I used to write the book of her and I speaking, of me interviewing her. I mean, she got tears. She was crying talking about Lucy. She meant a lot to her, and it was very touching. She was brought to tears. Several of these people, because she just
Yeah.
had such love and admiration for them.
She admired them as much as she's in this realm, she also admired and appreciated them as well, which is really a beautiful thing when you think
Well,
about it, huh?
yeah, I remember her saying to me, "I want this book to be more," and especially the title. She never knew the title.
Yeah.
We didn't have a
Yes.
title,
Yeah.
but I remember her saying to me, and I think I chose wisely, because she says, "I wanted to be," and I'm quoting her, "I want it to be more about them than me."
Yeah.
So, in the presence of greatness, she felt she was in the presence of greatness with a lot of these people.
Used to love
So,
watching Patty Duke when she would be on, or Anna, on the game
game
shows
shows.
too.
I'm here to say
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's even a game show chapter. I basically wrote this book with her. I came up with the format. I mean, I just, I outlined it or whatever, and I wanted it to be all the stuff I wanted her to talk about.
Right.
And I loved watching her on the game show reruns, GSN and Buzzer and stuff.
All of them. Now, did you have in terms of what you just said, as far as she ended up talking about all the things you had hoped,
Yeah.
did you have the opportunity to guide her through all of that, or did she just go in the directions that she wanted to go in?
Well, what it was basically was I came up with a list of people to talk about before, and most of them she approved. A couple of them she's like, nah, crossed off. And then it was just kind of I recorded on the iPad. I took some notes, but I recorded it on the iPad, and it was just kind of like go, record, go. And I would often, to help jog her memory, I would show her YouTube clips. I remember specifically her co-hosting the Mike Douglas show in 1967, where the guest was Rose Kennedy.
And
And
there's a clip, I think, of that on YouTube or something, isn't
yeah, there
there?
was at the time. I don't know if there is
Was
now,
it?
but
Yeah,
so she never seen this stuff. So she, there was no DVR or TiVo or anything, or even VCR timers or anything back then. So if you were in it, you missed it mostly. So she hadn't seen any of that stuff before, and there was a chapter on the Kennedys because she met Rose at that point. She met President Kennedy in the Oval Office. She met Bobby Kennedy, and then later Patrick Kennedy, who was a big mental health advocate, and she worked with as well on that, um, in that area. So her watching Rose Kennedy was really, it was cool watching her watch this stuff. I mean, it was very cool. I mean, I once sat in a movie theater in Chicago and watched The Miracle Worker right next to her, and she's giving me her own commentary in my ear about what's going on, what happened while
could you
behind
imagine?
this film. And I'm like, damn, I wish. And friggin' MGM, there she is with Helen Keller. That was another really cool. So there's a chapter in her, of course, in the book, and that might be the picture in the book. I forget.
Isn't that
Uh,
incredible? What a meeting, huh?
yeah, so she met her twice. It was just like, it was just, I can't imagine. And she just, just hearing hearing when MGM released The Miracle Worker on DVD, everybody was alive and nobody did a commentary. And it was a shame. So I just wish, if I could go back, one thing that I would do is
You would,
record some commentary for her, or even if it was some
yeah.
bootleg thing or whatever. But just do that. I did get to sit in 2010, one of her least favorite of her films I watched with her, but it turned out she'd never seen it before. A movie called Curse of the Black Widow, which is mentioned it was a 1977 Dan Curtis who did Dark Shadows, television movie where she played a woman who turns into a spider, a killing giant
Mm.
spider. It's a full moon. So, yeah, very realistic.
Was she ever in a movie of the week? The ABC movie of
That
the
was an
week?
ABC The Movie of the Week. It was in
Yeah,
1977.
the
Yes, that
movie
she did
of the
purely
week.
for a paycheck, yes. But, she had good experiences doing it. That she liked Dan Curtis a lot. A lot of people didn't, but she did. And, so there's some stories in the book about, working with June Allison in that, who was a
Madison.
co-star. And, she said her mom was especially excited because June Allison was one of her mom's all-time favorite actresses, that she was actually working with her. And, it's Donna Mills, and there's some other people in there. But yeah, check it out on YouTube, or it's on Amazon Prime streaming right now, actually, and probably on YouTube as well. But it's a silly movie, but it's fun. But anyway, in a hotel room in 2010, us and some friends, we got sat on the floor in her hotel room, and we ordered room service. I remember her and I eating cheeseburgers on the floor, and watching Curse the Black Widow. We had the DVD with us, and there was a DVD player in the room. So we watched it, and and I actually recorded the commentary, but unfortunately, my friend who did it accidentally erased it. It
Ah,
still sticks in my craw, but I have the
is
memories.
that person still a friend?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's
Yeah.
great. She is great, but especially if she's watching, and I don't want to, say anyone.
Yes, she's just terrific. We love her.
Yeah, I love you. Yeah, no, no, honestly, I do. I just texted her yesterday, but at least I have the memories from that, and it was just so surreal watching. I remember texting friends. I'm like, guess what I'm doing now, kind of thing. It was just very cool, given, like I said, running commentary, all behind the scenes stuff on what was going on then and behind the scenes. And if you
Yeah,
ever watch the movie, there's a house that gets burned at some point, and she said that was a miniature that they created, and she was watching it. She said it was the cutest thing, and she watched it, when they were burning it for the film, because there was no
wow.
CGI back then or anything.
There's no
They
s
really
right,
burned it. They really
exactly.
burned it.
They really
So
burned it.
yeah, so
Just the way they did.
it was just really cool. I miss I really miss that stuff about her.
Mm,
Like, I really do I miss a lot about her, but I miss the stories, and which is why I'm glad I'm able to, for her and I both were able to have her legacy live on, not only with her acting work, but with our book as well. Like you said before, it's her final words to the public. So I feel very honored to be partially responsible for that. And
yeah,
to just, that's something I don't take lightly.
no.
And social media or whatever, I post about her, not every day, but I don't own a group anymore. I gave that stuff up, but like, there is a Facebook group that I do participate in quite a bit, though I'm not, like I said, an owner or moderator or anything. And I like scanning pictures of her career, whatever, just talking. And then there's even a thing where people could ask me questions about her. What did she think about this or that movie or whatever? And if I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge. But yeah, there are things like I used to assist her at these conventions, like autograph shows, as I've mentioned. And then we were just one 3 weeks ago tonight, the Chiller Theater one in New
Yeah,
Jersey.
New
When
Jersey.
I'd assisted her at that hotel. And it's a bit of melancholy because as much as I enjoy those things, I mean, she's not there anymore. So it's sad, but I do enjoy meeting people there who worked with her and loved her and were able to carry on. For example, 3 weeks ago, I met Loretta Swit and they did a TV movie
Oh,
in
yeah.
the 90s together that's mentioned in the book. So I gave her a copy of the book and I not highlighted, but I bookmarked the passage where she talks about working with her and
Mm.
read it right in front of me and was very moved by it. And yeah, I mean, I haven't heard a bad word. Danielle Brisbois, who mostly known as Stephanie from All in the Family, they did a TV movie together in 1980. A couple years ago, I gave her a copy. Very similar thing to that. She just always, whenever you mention her name to somebody she worked with, I mean, their face just lights up, and always also the same thing is always like she's gone too soon. She should still be here.
Which is so true,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm sure when you got the news that she had passed, that must have been, devastating for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the inside, if you will. Her husband was nice to keep me abreast on her situation, um, and he called me personally that night, that early morning, and I knew it was coming. And he called me from the hospital about an hour and a half after it happened, and remember a lot about that. I was lying on that bed behind me there, and I was just looking. I write this at the end of the book. I was looking at that poster I mentioned before, where we posed in front of about 5 years earlier, and it really got to me. She was gone, and it was very. I keep using the word surreal, but so much of our friendship was surreal. She, it I was glad she was out of pain, but still, I miss her a lot. So
Sure.
it's a devastating loss for I think the world, but to know her was to love her, and
I was gonna say, just think about the treasure of friendship that you
yeah,
had that was rare and doesn't always happen with folks
no,
in that
I mean,
stratosphere, in that realm of,
I've
celebrity.
never told this story, but like, well, it's not really a story, but I remember being a kid and watching her. I remember what TV movie it was, and I, it was on a rerun of it in the early 90s, not long after I became a fan. And there was a scene where she had to dial the phone. And I kept wishing, I like, oh, like, what if she dialed my number? Like, it was just like, I was like 10.
You were
And
hoping.
I was just kept thinking that. And to think that, like, I mean, just, however many years later, I mean, that was true. I mean, she called me for my birthday or something, or, like that really happened. And to be able to have that fantasy come true and then even beyond what I ever dreamt of was, I mean,
Yeah.
if nothing in my life ever happens again, what a gift that was. If nothing great ever happened, well, not that, but I'm just saying, like, if like that was like so much more than I could ever have anticipated, and not just even just to meet her and get a picture or an autograph or something like that, but just to have that. We really did have a bond, and you know, there were times where I remember one time in 2011, I was going to New York and I didn't expect to see her, but she was in New York for something. And I know I'd be seeing her in a few weeks. So if I didn't see her, it was, that was okay. And, but when she told Mike that I'd be coming to the hotel room, he was going to meet me in the lobby to give me something. She's like, oh no, have him come, like, no, we're not going to, no, he's coming up. So, so that was, yeah, I mean, she, really she really cherished my friendship as well. It wasn't just one-sided. She always said um that, it was a privilege to know that, what a privilege it was to know me as well. And I'm not saying that to sound conceited, but like she would tell you that if she were here, that it worked both ways.
So
You
beautiful, huh?
know, like, yeah, it was just we just had this, like I said, this bond,
Yeah.
and it just was. It's just it's a very kind Facebook friend wrote to me actually on the way to that Chiller Theater thing 3 weeks ago, and he said to me, you've experienced so much loss in the last few years. Two very important people, Anna and my mom. You've lost two the most important women in my life, and it was acknowledging stuff, about stuff. We all go through loss and everything. I'm not saying I'm any different, but yeah, it's been a rough few years. Um, but neither one of them would want, both my mom and Anna would want me to persevere.
Exactly right.
They wouldn't want me to sit around on mopey or whatever. So,
Are
um,
you still in touch with her family?
I am her husband. I'm still in touch with. We're Facebook friends still, and he's always commenting or liking or whatever something I post, and vice versa. And we text each other occasionally still, all that stuff. It's so that's very nice. And then we have the partnership with the book as well. So because all her proceeds go to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's um, I always with her husband Mike Pierce. I always looked as forward to seeing him as her. He's a great
Mm,
guy.
yeah.
So, and I'm glad that he's doing well and everything. He's in a relationship now. And yeah, it's that's the
N
way Anna would want it.
Now your day to day, are you always writing? Tell us a little bit about, some of even your background.
No, well, I was teaching until the pandemic. I left that profession. So,
What were you teaching?
I English.
Wow.
So I have my degree in English. Yeah. W- there was that.
Yeah.
Uh, and I don't miss it at all. I don't. The way things were becoming, my God.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
changed. Yeah.
but I had to help take care of my mom and stuff, and she had Lewy body dementia for years, and was an invalid. And I was my dad and I were her caretakers, and I
Yeah.
couldn't risk kind of what put me over the edge, if you will, where I quit was because I couldn't risk they were going to start having kids come back, and I knew who the kids were. They wouldn't wear a mask, so yeah,
That whole thing, right.
yeah.
The back
So
and
I mean, I
forth.
had to. I didn't want my mother went through so much. I didn't want her to die from that.
Right.
So yeah, to have to go through that.
Well, it's a
So
beautiful thing, to watch over your mom and for you and your dad to care for her in that way. It's a beautiful
yeah,
testament
yeah,
to
it
your
really
commitment.
she was a wonderful woman, so like I said, I've been blessed, I had,
Yeah.
I mean, my mom was my mom, Anna was not my mom, but yeah, just incredible women that, I
Impacted you greatly.
impacted me so
Yeah.
much, I mean, just so much, I mean,
I've
where
been
I
lucky to be surrounded by that
think of
too, and
them
it's beautiful.
constantly, just
Yeah.
constantly, everything I say or do almost,
Yeah.
something in my mind goes to either one or both of them. So it's just
Yeah.
the legacy they left was just indelible for me. So
What do you feel
I'm just
Patty would, or Anna in this case, would hope that people get from this book upon reading it? Well, I would ask you first what you think Anna would hope people are left with, and then what do you hope they're left with? And I wonder if that's probably a very similar answer.
with what I would think Anna would want was again the approach I came up with her was not about her so much, but the people in it. The tribute, the homage to the people in it. Would be what I think she would want the readers for us, for all of you, to take from that. That she loved these people. She loved doing what she did, um, and wanted to help keep their legacy alive. That was her. Me, I agree with all that. Absolutely, 100%. But in addition, it's a way of remembering Anna. Um, So again, as we said, it's her last words. She never did any interviews. After we did that, just acting work, whatever. Um, these are her last words to the public. So it means a lot to me. It's a huge responsibility. And I want people to know what a lovely, caring, wonderful woman she was, and to know some of the delightful, wonderful stories um, that she had, and to share like I did, to hear them during dinner or whatever. That's main reason for the conversational tone of the book, is to be able to like sit like you're having a cup of coffee, like you said, just to be able to sit there and be as have some of the luck that I had and hear these things from such an incredible, wonderful woman. And we had talked about her recording an audiobook.
Hmm.
And she says, I don't know why, but they approached me for my first two books and I turned them down. So she didn't record anything. She's like, I have no idea why. I just didn't. But she's like, this one I do want to do. So obviously that didn't happen. But my publisher, 3 years after the book came out, just last year, approached me about having actress Kathy Garver, known
Oh,
for my family.
yeah. We've had her on several
Yes,
times. She's a
yes.
friend. She's fabulous.
She is great. I haven't met her in person, but
She's
she's
wonderful.
everything I've dealings with her have just been wonderful. And she was a friend of Anna's, and Anna even wrote the foreword to her first book. And she actually appeared on some Patty Duke Show episodes too. So,
Yes.
and she interviewed Anna when Anna was in San Francisco in 2009 doing Wicked there. And she interviewed her on a local talk show that she had at the time. So anyway, I was hesitant at first because it was somebody else's voice, that kind of thing. But
Yes.
then I think Anna, this is gonna sound so corny, but um, somebody had written to me asking. This was not public. I wasn't posting this on any of this stuff on Facebook or anything. But somebody wrote to me saying in a private DM on Facebook, asking if there was an audiobook available. And I said, not at this time. I'm sorry. And this guy said to me, he said, oh, okay, my friend who is blind um, wanted to know if there was an audio book, but I will just read the book to him. And that was in the middle of me making up a decision.
Wow.
Do I want of the
To
offer
do.
to do it or not? Yay or nay, because it was up to me.
Yeah.
So that cinched it for me. And I think that might have been Anna. Because again, we know what hurt the miracle worker, the Helen Keller, Annie Sullivan association, and everything. So now Kathy Garver's beautiful voice is on it, and it's not Anna's, but she comes damn close.
But
And
still, you've got
and
you got Sissy on there.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's no small potatoes. So it's she did a wonderful job, and I'm just so appreciative. She even did a thing on a new television network promoting it earlier this year,
Hmm.
and she was just wonderful. And then it was fun for me because I got to do the beginning of the book and the end are me introducing things and then tying everything up in my words. So I got to do the audio for my part, which was fun. Yeah, and that's on I have the CD here. So it is on CD format for those of you who want the physical media. So it's on 9 discs. It's just under 10 hours. And it's also on Audible and places iTunes and different places like that. So if you prefer to download it instead. But
Very
it's a really
cool.
great. A lot of people have told me that when they're listening to Kathy Garver reading it, it's like they forget that it's Kathy and not Anna after a
Right.
while.
It
So
becomes Anna.
yeah,
Right.
and also the fact that she was affiliated with, that she was friends with her, wasn't just some random person reading it, really helped cinch it too for me. So yeah,
Fantastic.
so I'm
Yeah.
very proud of the audiobook as well. I never expected to see one, but now I'm glad. It's been out for about a year now, so the book's been out for 4 years. But yeah, I'm very happy that I decided to go ahead with the audiobook as well. And
And again, where can people find the book?
and the most popular thing is Amazon.
Just to go to Amazon.
They can go
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
barnesandnoble.com as well, or any bookstore, online bookstore kind of thing. It's not sold in stores. It's an online
Right.
only
It's
thing.
all online,
Yeah.
which is
But Amazon, you could get it in Kindle format, so the digital format, you can get it,
yeah.
which is the biggest seller. I mean, when I look at the numbers, I can't believe how much more copies we sell of that than the print versions. It's really a whole new world, you know? So, we sell the Kindle versions more than any of the print physical copies. And then, like I said, it's also on Audible and in CD format for the audio, and paperback and hardback. So it's
Fantastic.
all of them.
You
And
know who also enjoyed it is our friend George Burns. He always
oh,
pops in towards the latter part,
oh
and,
man.
he thoroughly enjoyed going down memory lane reading this book, and he knew a lot of the people that were discussed in
I'm
the book as
sure he
well.
did.
Here he is with his cigar and his, hanky. He usually appears towards the latter part of the broadcast, puts a smile on everybody's faces. He said, he really enjoyed the conversation. You knocked it out of the park. And he said you got God on your side because remember he played God in the
Oh,
movies.
I remember that. Yeah.
My
Oh
aunt
my.
in Connecticut collected dolls, one of my mother's sisters, and when
Wow, it
he
really
turned
looks like
one,
him. Mm.
I tell you, it really does, doesn't it?
I
When
had the Patty Duke doll, it didn't look a thing like her, and when she was here I should show it to you.
we've got the I Jimmy Genie bottle right here
Oh, I
too.
see that,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So the Patty Duke doll, we posed in my room here with it. She's holding it, we're posing together, with it, and, it didn't look a thing like her.
We've got Gilligan back there too. I think way back
Oh, do
there's the
you?
Gilligan that came from his wife, Bob Denver's wife,
Oh,
Dreamer Denver,
wow.
who was a
Oh, that's so
guest on the
cool.
show several times.
Oh. Oh, that's so sweet. That's really
But
nice.
uh,
Yeah. I
but
know I have
the
Lucy dolls over here.
the Lucy dolls.
I have, Golden Girls stuff. I have, I'm looking around all the crap in here.
I
So
think we are just two big kids in adult
yeah,
clothing, aren't we?
yeah. I mean, I don't like collect dolls in general. They have to be of someone I
But
love and adore.
something
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
with
yeah.
so this was a family heirloom passed down to me, because she collected it, and when he turned 100, she went out and got the collector's edition, and I got handed to me, so it was kinda cool
That's
to
really
share
cool.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I still have. I said, I do have one. My dog Ken, who I have had since as long as I could remember. It's not a show business doll, but I keep him on a comfy chair. Um, so you could see he was very tattered. He was much loved, and the nose was redone many years ago by my aunt Linda, and you could see how dirty he is because with this. But this was my ragdoll. I carried this guy everywhere as a kid.
So George says hello as well.
But yeah, that he's Ken's been with me, and if I when it's my time to go, Ken will go with me. I'm sure.
Ed will go with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
So
this
close
this
to
was
me.
really epic. We said we chat for like an hour or so. It's almost it's actually an hour and a half we
Yeah,
chatted.
yeah.
And everybody says when they come on, because it's conversational, warm, sort of, talk about the old school stuff. We do this like a television show like Cavett, Carson, Merv Griffin, Mike
Right.
Douglas, Regis, with a modern twist of today. And I can't believe it's an hour and a half, but didn't even feel like it, right?
Goes by
Everybody
very
says it
quickly.
goes by
Yeah,
so quickly. And
I mean, you've been so wonderful. I just, I love the tone of this. Like you said, it's just a fun. I love talking about Anna in any sense, like any way I can. Where people don't want me to shut up when actually people want to hear me talk about her. So, kids probably thought I was weird in high school. But
you
but
were observant.
I was very observant, yes. But
Yes.
it's just such a pleasure, and you've made me feel. I don't do this. I'm not her. I don't do this. This isn't my first interview, but I don't do this all the time. I'm not a
Right.
regular. So
Right.
you made me feel completely at ease
I
the entire
appreciate that.
time. I always get little butterflies right beforehand, but
Sure, sure.
haven't felt a single one the entire time. Yeah.
That is fantastic. And you, when you reached out, you had mentioned that you are a fan of our series and that you saw, I think it was the Joyce Bulifant conversation that we
Yeah.
had.
Oh, she wrote Joyce is wonderful. She wrote a blurb, I guess you could call it. That's on the back cover of our book. Does the audio have it? No. Well, it's on the back of your book.
The
But you
back of
got
my book.
but she wrote a very nice thing about Anna. I contacted her on Facebook, and I later got to meet her when her own book, which I loved her book,
My Four
came out
Hollywood Husbands.
for Hollywood
Yeah,
Husbands,
boy,
and
huh?
she did a book signing in New Hope, Pennsylvania, which is only half an hour from here because
Yep.
that's where she went to school. It's her alma mater.
That's
So
right.
she did a signing there back in, what was that, 2018? Oh, no, 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 that was 2017. It was before my book came out. Yeah. And a few months earlier. So I got to meet her and her now late husband, Roger Perry, and they both worked with Anna.
That's
So it
right.
was that was cool as well. But she's just such a wonderful, warm. She told me a really funny story about how after Ethel Ross, who is the manager that changed her name, that we mentioned earlier, like after she passed in 1978, she was buried in Palm Springs, and Anna and Joyce are filming an Irwin Allen miniseries in Palm Springs called "Hanging by a Thread," and so she asked Joyce if she would go to the cemetery with her, and Ethel had just recently died, so she was
Mm.
going to the grave, and she there was some resolution with her before her Ethel's death, thankfully. But she Joyce laughed because she went there realizing, oh no, I don't have any flowers or anything. So Anna stole the flowers somebody else's grave and put them on Ethel's grave.
I heard of people doing that.
That's a story that it's not in any book or anything,
That
but the
is
book
a
told me.
worldwide exclusive on the Jim Masters show that Bill just shared only with the JMS Lovity audience. See what you get on the Jim Masters show live? You would not hear
The
that anywhere
inside
else.
scoop like
It's
that,
an
yeah.
exclusive.
So yeah, but Joyce was just so good. So I had seen her. I follow her on social media, so she was doing the show, and that's how I discovered you, and I reached out to you
I appreciate that.
last month or whenever that was. Yeah.
Well, you're now a Lovity. There's Oscars, Emmys, Grammys, Tonys, Peabodys, Tellys, and all the rest. But the audience who have been commenting, we appreciate all the great comments. They've already said you're a JMS Lovity, Bill. So just your feet
Thank you.
tingling. Usually, most of the guests say their feet tingle when you're getting choked up
I
being a Lovity.
am.
See,
Like
he's all
I just
look.
opened up the comments. Like I said,
Look,
I haven't read.
look
I'm
what
reading them now.
happened, folks. See, he found out he's a Lovity and he's all choked up. He's emotional.
I'm verklempt.
Been a
Yeah.
very inspiring evening. Such a wonderful conversation tonight. Thank you, William and Jim from our Lovely Mary in Florida. Rhonda, awesome show tonight. Thank you, Jim and William. She's watching in Virginia Beach, Virginia,
Thank you,
USA.
Rhonda. Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mary.
Rhonda. Kathleen Walker, thank you, William. She's in New York City. Thanks for being here and sharing your memories
Kathleen,
with us. This was great.
my favorite
Jane
city.
watching in Sweden. This has been a
Wow.
very interesting show. Thank you, William, for being here tonight and sharing the memories. Thanks for having him. My pleasure as well. Thanks for these
Oh,
comments, gang. You
now
guys
Jen
have
is saying my bear is upstairs. I'm assuming I wonder if she has a Patty Duke bear because Patty Duke actually had a line of teddy bears. Not a lot of people know that. And that she sold through QVC with Boyd's Bears. So this is Annie. So this is a genuine Boyd's Bear. It's a Patty Duke from the Patty Duke collection. And Annie was a character, as you can see, she's Amish. And Annie was a character that she played on a movie, Hallmark Hall of Fame movie called Harvest of Fire in 1996. And this was modeled after that. So some of the
oh,
bears
this
are
is
modeled after
you,
characters of hers.
you got a big Hallmark following on this show.
Oh, well,
A lot
Patty
of
Duke
our viewers
was
love
a big
Hallmark.
Hallmark person, and then they were all embroidered with her signature there. And then it's faded over the years, but her real signature was on this foot. And there's a bunch of them. They did a Helen Keller one. They had to change the name on that one, but yeah, there was a whole bunch of them. There was going to become some even more, but then Boyd's went bankrupt despite her bear line doing well. But
Yeah, and they were so big. Remember Boyd's Bears? They were
yeah,
huge all
and
over
then she would
QVC.
have
And QVC is not
very
far
close to
from
where I live.
Westchester, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I have a lot of
It's
friends
less
who
than an
are
hour from here.
I have a lot
So
of friends who are
yeah,
hosts
and
there.
then
Matter of fact, I went to a host audition a few years back, several years back, when Joan Rivers was there.
mm, oh god, I love you know what's
And she
funny?
was a riot.
Here's another story, inside thing.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers, the day that I flew to work on this book with Anna, I found out on the airplane that Joan had passed. So when I got to the house, the Anna's TV was on CNN all the time. Never shut CNN off. She was a big news junkie, and so she was watching all the tributes to Joan, and she had mentioned that her tweet about Joan had just gone through. And I remember just sitting there, and we were just laughing during the time. And I adored Joan. I got to meet Joan at a book signing just 2 months before she passed. And I was so lucky that I had those few moments with her and how
Sure.
wonderful and gracious she was. I was so appreciative that I was able to do that. She was just oh my god, it was great. So,
Yeah.
and Anna said, like, listen to this. Joan would love this. We're laughing. We're talking about different jokes. She had a joke. Um, I'll tell the joke. It's not a dirty joke. And Anna was laughing so badly that she had to yell to me to stop because she was hurting so badly that it
From the
pertained to her indirectly. So it said she was going on about how a certain actress in the early '80s was so dumb that she said that
How dumb was
yeah,
she?
she said that she was offered the role of she turned down the role of Helen Keller because she couldn't remember the lines. So, she just really got cracked up about
That would be her.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah.
Maureen says, "This has been wonderful. What an incredible
Yeah.
story from writing a fan letter to becoming her godchild. What a great ride you had with Patty. Thanks so much for sharing your
Oh, thank you
story."
so much,
Jen
Mom.
Barry is in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're not
One
far
of
from
not
me,
far.
about an hour.
Ah, beautiful bear, William. And
Thank you.
she
Yeah,
loved it as
yeah.
well.
She did some great they're on eBay now. You could find her bears on eBay. They still live on.
That and Cabbage Patch Kids and
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's some really, yeah. It's a shame that
Beanie
didn't happen.
Babies. That was that other rage. Remember the Beanie Baby
And
craze?
it's funny because when I met Anna, I gave her a Beanie Baby. She was collecting them. I never did, but she was collecting
She
them
was
at the time.
collecting them.
So, yeah,
See?
during that whole in the late '90s there, yeah, when I first met her, I think I
See,
brought
there's
one with
something
me
you knew, folks,
to
only on
Canada.
this show.
I don't think anybody ever knew Patty Duke collected Beanie
Patty
Babies.
Duke collected Beanie Babies, see?
Yeah, she I don't know for how long, but
But she did.
yeah, she collected that and she collected enamel pillboxes. So I would give her those too if I
Oh, she liked the pill boxes.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow,
So she had a
wow,
big plate on her dining room table, a big plate filled with them.
wow.
And then some scattered throughout the house as well. So that's one thing that she, yeah, collected for years. Because
Yeah,
she, ever since having to take her medication, I think she said something, if I'm not mistaken, like that she, was very religious with taking her medication every day, but she
yeah.
wished they came in something prettier than the
Prettier than
plastic
just
pill
the
boxes. So
plastic.
that was her little solution, I guess, was to collect the enamel ones. Yeah.
What would be one thing before we go about Patty Duke that, stands out for you that maybe would be something that we don't know that you wanna share?
Um, she, she, as I've said before in this book, it says she loved so many of the people she worked with and knew. She really appreciated her fans. Um, like she always said, you have to be a jerk to me for me not to like you. But the courage this woman had to go forward with the mental health, which she always said she felt show business was a means for her to get the platform to talk about that her true calling in life was that. I agree and disagree with that. I agree with it. She's not wrong, but she did plenty of darn good work too. That which shouldn't be ignored either. Yeah, she in an interview once she said, "When you're gone, what would you like to be remembered as, and what would you like people to say about you?" And emotionally, she said that she always told the truth, and she did. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. And again, that authenticity, one of the things that people love about her. This was really fantastic, Bill.
I had
And
so
it's,
much fun. Thank you
yeah,
so
me
much.
too.
Thank you for
And
the wonderful comments, everyone, too. It was really touching. So
oh,
really
absolutely. Yeah,
appreciate
we're very interactive on the show. They're kind of like
it.
my studio audience watching around the
Yeah, I
world.
think it's
Very
great.
interactive.
I'm reading them. Like I said, I'm trying to catch up now. uh, thank
But
you, Joseph, and
all
yeah,
of them,
Mona and Jen, and yeah,
yeah.
Kathleen
The
and
Lovity Squad. The Lovity Squad.
Terry. Yeah, that's so nice. Yeah, it's very, very
I
nice.
hope the, show met whatever expectations you had and you
Oh,
enjoyed the
it
time with
exceeded them. I
me.
had just a wonderful time. I keep using the word wonderful. It's cliche,
I
but
like
still, I
Lawrence
mean,
Welk, wonderful, wonderful.
well, yeah, yeah, or Lucille Ball, wonderful, but
Wonderful, right?
later Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just really, you have such a terrific show here, and I'm so honored to be one of your guests on there. So, thank
Well,
you so
as my father has always said, whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
and exactly in these days, that's sharing on social media.
Yeah, that's about it now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
This was really epic, and congratulations again on the book, the
Thank you so
audiobook,
much.
Kindle, everything else, and I'm sure we'll have more coming our way from you as well. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll keep the porch light on for you, like we say. Jen there in Pennsylvania, Bill, come back soon. You're now a lovety.
Oh,
That's
thank
it.
you
So now
so
you
much,
got to come
man. I
back.
will. I will. Thank you.
Spread the word about our
Mm,
show. If you know of other folks you think would like to hop on, we would love that as well. And
absolutely.
this was really something special. Thanks for sharing all of your wit and wisdom
Thank
and some of the behind the
you.
scenes and your friendship with
Thank
the
you
one
for
and
your
only.
research and actually reading the book,
My pleasure. My,
some interviews I've had where I could tell they haven't read it, and I'm
I
not gonna
haven't
call
read
them
it
out on
all.
that, but with you,
Right.
it's obvious you did.
Oh, absolutely. And it
Yeah,
was really fantastic. I've always admired Patty Duke as well, too. So,
yep.
or Anna. So to, come across somebody who knew her in this way. And I understand the writing because I did that as a kid too, would write to, I used to write to all the presidents. I would write
Oh,
to the mayors and get, the letters back. And I would write to certain people that I admired in the industry as well. So I get that 8-year-old kid thing very much. So you remind me of myself in many ways. And the fact that you got a chance to have it come to fruition and blossom into a beautiful friendship and then have a book that you were able to finish with for her. I
yeah.
mean, it's full circle. So I
It's
get it.
dedicated to her, and,
Yeah, it's a cool
yeah, I
thing.
think she'd be proud, of it, I really do, and, yeah, I think she's looking down and is very proud,
She's a
of the book.
lovety too. She's a lovety.
She is, she's reading these comments too, I know her. She's
Yes,
she's
she is.
probably putting her glasses on and looking
Got the
real
glass
close,
fingers
you
too.
know?
That's cool. That's cool. You be well, my friend. This was a
You too.
pleasure.
Thank you
And
so much.
again, like I said, we'll keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back anytime.
Any
Okay. And if
absolutely.
I'm in Philly, take me to the great cheesesteak places
Oh, the 2
because
whatever.
I'm in the New York area anyway. So I'm
I
not
know I
far.
know be we have to go to New Hope. There's a place in New Hope
Ooh.
that has better than Philadelphia proper. So,
Oh,
the
good.
2
Okay.
famous places in Philly aren't really that great. So,
Yeah. There's some other hidden gems, right?
no, and I'm from New York originally too, so I've
You are?
been
What
here the last
part?
few years. I was born in White Plains,
Oh, yeah. Long
and, I
Island for
lived
me,
in
out east
Croton on
on Long Island.
Hudson. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I have friends from Long Island, and, I was born in White Plains, and then I lived in Croton on Hudson until I was
Croton on
16.
Hudson.
So,
Yes.
in Westchester County, yeah. So,
It's funny when you grow up on Long Island because we were further out east on the island, as we say it,
on the island,
on the
island.
island, not in
Yeah,
it. We're not
yeah,
going in
yeah,
Long Island. We're going on
yeah.
it. But if you're going, it's funny because they would say if they're going to White Plains or they're going to Rye or Mamaroneck, that
Upstate.
they're going upstate. And then you talk to somebody like Bill from White Plains. This is not upstate. Syracuse is upstate.
Syracuse, Albany, all those places to me are upstate, like the
But
Adirondacks, all that
yeah,
stuff. That's all upstate to me, like not,
right.
yeah,
But they would
not
say
Westchester. No.
anything north of the Bronx would be going to the country. Going upstate is what they would
I have a
say.
Facebook friend that just met somebody that he's dating who lives in Croton, which is weird coincidence. And he keeps writing that I'm going to he lives in Yonkers, and which is where my dad's from actually. But he keeps writing like I'm going to the country. I'm going to the country, and I'm like, you're not in the country. Whatever. I guess maybe the Yonkers, that's the country. So
That's just it, right?
yeah, yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, but and I have to say, you don't have the accent. I know people
Isn't it amazing?
who I know. I used to know somebody who I won't mention the name, but she never lost her accent.
She didn't lose
After
the accent.
living down south for 40 years,
And
she still talk like this, all the time.
still has the
So
whole
yeah,
probably because maybe the years on the air,
and
being
this,
on television and
yeah,
radio. Yeah, they do that a lot.
the hand, yeah,
They do
yeah,
that whole,
yeah.
but maybe the years being on television and radio, and also I think just I just never really. I mean, if I'm amongst friends or some family and there's wine involved, it's the New York may start to slip out some of the words. Because that side of the family has the accent, the New
I
York side. The New England
yeah,
side
yeah,
doesn't have it.
yeah.
They you have the pack, the car,
Most of my
and then you've
family,
got the
yeah, the
fantastic,
past.
and you've got the whole melding of North and how about you? You don't really, I don't hear
No, I mean, I use if I listen or watch like old home movies or something, like I realize, oh, I really did have
you
one, didn't I?
sort
But
of developed out of it,
yeah,
right?
well, I
Yeah.
think it was intentional on my part. Um, I'm a teacher, so that was
As
kind
a
of
teacher,
I guess you
right.
could say a chore. And
Yeah.
with Anna, she was from New York, and
That's right.
uh, she was born in in New York and lived in Queens for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Queens, yeah.
the Rosses, as we mentioned, the aforementioned, they trained her on her diction, so you lose the New Yorkese. And I kind of
Yes.
trained myself to do that too, but once in a while, especially if I'm mad. Because I am
Then
Jankowski
it
is my last name. It's Polish, but I am Irish on my mother's side, Dalton. So, like the Irish in me, when that comes out, which is rare, but when it does, sometimes the New York comes out in me too, and I get really pissed off.
pissed
So
off. All right.
I get really pissed off. I really do. Yeah.
Then you
I
become
feel more like Rhoda
Italian.
Morgenstern right now, but yeah,
Then the
but yeah,
Polish Irishman becomes Italian.
yeah, exactly. Well, I have Italian through marriage in my family, so it kind of blends. Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
there. That's it.
yeah.
Well, this was awesome, my friend.
All
And
right. Thank
again,
you.
thanks for the chat. We've done almost 2 hours, which is
Yeah.
fantastic. Didn't feel
Wow.
like it at all. Well, now it makes sense. If you take two New Yorkers and put them together, they can converse as if
Yeah.
it's
And next time
nothing.
I come at some point soon when we come into New York, we should get together. It'd be fun. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I bring the George Burns or he doesn't
Oh,
always travel with me.
this
He
is so
stays
creepy.
here.
I can't believe I'm telling this story, but my friends and I in high school, when I lived in Croton still, we used to take, I had an autographed picture of B. Arthur as Maud. And we used to take it, it was framed, 8 by 10 framed picture. And we used to take it to the local diner, to the Croton diner, and we used to pretend to feed it. And why am I telling this story? So we were not on anything. We were just crazy, like fun crazy,
So
like that.
you were
So we used to
feeling
just have fun having B.
you
Arthur there with
you were
us. So
feeding B. Arthur the Mord
pretty
doll?
much, I just probably lost all credibility telling that story that I may have had, but yeah, but but
God will get you for that, Jankowski.
yeah, God, I really did that. Yeah, and I got to meet her too.
As she
I got to
said
meet
to
her eventually too, which was
you
really
did
cool.
meet B. Arthur?
Yeah, I met
Yeah,
everyone but Estelle Getty. I met the Golden Girls,
she
so
was already
another favorite of
gone.
mine. Yeah,
Wow, that's
so just
fantastic, huh?
Betty White especially was just she was
Jane in
so
Sweden says, "You might not be a regular, William, but you sure are a lovety now."
thank you, Jane. I
Kinda cool. Cool stuff.
appreciate
Well, this was really epic.
it. Yeah, God, your people are just as nice as you are, Jim. So
Appreciate that, I
yeah,
appreciate that. You be well, and, thanks for all the time, and,
you be
again,
well.
we'll chat again real soon, okay, Bill? All right, you take
Thank you
care.
so much. All right, everybody.
You're
Good night.
welcome. You have a good night.
You too. Bye
Cheers.
bye.
Bye-bye. Isn't that incredible, huh? Great conversation. You got a chance to learn a little bit more about Anna, or of course, as Patty Duke for many years on television, film, stage, the game shows, all of it, the talk shows. And you got a chance to learn from somebody who was a personal friend. They developed a friendship. I mean, he was an 8-year-old kid that wrote to her and got that conversation coming back in his direction, which was absolutely unbelievable. And a friendship was forged from there with the iconic Patty Duke, Anna, her real name. And Patty, I always admired Patty. I always thought Patty was just terrific. Beautiful inside and out, of course, but funny and witty, and her dramatic roles always fantastic. And yeah, the early years were tough, as a child, of course. Look at her there with Helen Keller, huh? Isn't that amazing? And there they are again, Bill and Patty. We shared some of these earlier with all of you. If you missed anything about this episode, where our very special guest is author William J. Jankowski, better known as Bill, co-author of actress Patty Duke's final book, the last book, In the Presence of Greatness. Really spectacular. Again, he personally sent it to me. I have my copy. In the Presence of Greatness, my 60-year journey as an actress. Patty Duke and William J. Jankowski. And the foreword, as he mentioned earlier, as Bill mentioned earlier, really an amazing story. The foreword was written by Gloria Vanderbilt. Bill's a fan of our show. He's been watching the Jim Masters show for a while, and he reached out to me, and we said, absolutely, we'll have you come on the show. And so he's seen our episodes. He likes our vibe. He likes what we do here at the Jim Masters Show Live. And I just think it's really fantastic that we had the opportunity to really spend this amount of time really celebrating the life of Patty Duke, Havana, and the relationship that the two of them had. And he shared some real nuggets with us too, things that even I didn't know about Patty, and I'm sure you as well. So this was cool, wasn't it? This is an example of what we do here. Did you see the episode when Sally Kirkland stopped by the Jim Masters Show Live? That was another iconic, inspiring episode. Hollywood royalty right there. As well, recently, Michael Leonard, 4-time Emmy-winning actress who played Olivia Walton on The Waltons. We had an epic conversation. Did you see when another acclaimed stage, film, television actress and dancer, Lane Bradbury, was here on the Jim Masters Show Live series as well? That was another fantastic conversation. Yes, I want to let you know that coming up tomorrow, we have a phenomenal guest live and direct from Nashville. Kate Boytek is a rising star in the music industry, country music singer and songwriter. Yeah, Kate is all excited to be here. Her star is rising really fast. She has written a lot of music and collaborated with some of the greats in country music in the Nashville area. She's going to be with us tomorrow live for those who are watching live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Then on Sunday, our 2-year anniversary celebration special surprise guests and memories celebrating our 2-year anniversary of the Jim Masters Show Live series. I can't believe we have been doing this show 2 years. I think about a week or so ago was the actual 2-year anniversary, but we wanted to put together something fun. So we're going to go through some memories, and we have some surprise special guests who are going to be hopping on the show. That is this Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. That's 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Don't miss it if you want to join us live. That's a double lovety day, because also on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, actor David Lautman is going to be with us. You see him in all the Car Gurus commercials now. A lot of commercials he's done, but he's also a wonderful actor and filmmaker. He's currently in General Hospital, or on General Hospital. Also, Hunters and Angeline, which everybody's raving about. He's starring in all of these right now as we speak. He's going to be with us live and direct from Los Angeles, California this Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be amazing. So that's 2 shows on Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, our anniversary celebration. Then David stops by at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And then on Monday, I was just chatting with her on the phone. She's amazing. Barbara Brighton, legendary comedian, actress, singer, one of the greatest Joan Rivers impersonators. She's in Vegas as we speak right now, Barbara. She's been around a long time. She's really epic, and she is a legend in the industry. She's going to be with us on Monday. It's going to be amazing. She's going to make us laugh and lots more, lots of surprises. Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Guess what? Then on Tuesday, we have Daryl Purpose with us. He is extraordinary. Not only is he a famed fingerstyle guitarist, singer, songwriter in Oregon, but he also is one of the world's greatest blackjack players too. And he's in the Blackjack Hall of Fame as we speak. but known for his music as an epic singer and songwriter of incredible music and all in fingerstyle. Really, really fantastic. He's going to be with us on Tuesday. And guess who's with us on Wednesday? The one and only Lucy Arnaz, actress, singer, daughter of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, going to be with us this Wednesday exclusively at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. The one and only Lucy Arnaz. She's a dear friend, and we've met on multiple occasions, and we have a lot of mutual friends, and she's just iconic and epic. She's on tour right now, and we're so honored to have her joining us this Wednesday here on the Jim Masters Show live. So again, don't miss it. Tomorrow is going to be amazing on Saturday. And then we have on Sunday our anniversary special. And then we have David Lartman joining us on Sunday night. Monday, Barbara Brighton, then Daryl Purpose, then Lucy Arnaz. And then again, you can also binge watch almost 700 episodes of our series that we have done already, which is hard to believe. I can't believe we've done this many episodes, all this levity, these great conversations, all these guests, all this hard work. If you ever want to support us during the show, do a super chat, super emoji, super stickers when the show is live in the actual chat. That helps us. That really helps support everything we're doing, paying for the equipment, the Wi-Fi, the hours, the streaming service. I mean, everything that we do to put these shows together. And we appreciate those of you who do that during the show. And some people say, how do we help, support what you guys are doing after the show? You can do it on our YouTube channel with super thanks. There's actually a little heart icon there. And if you press that, that's a super thanks. And that helps support the Jim Masters Show live series and everything that goes along with all this monster time that we spend on the air. This show is like a monster sometimes, just because of the amount of time we spend with all of you. Kathleen says, great show. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Kathleen. And Crystal says, yay, happy anniversary. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Tudo says, oh my God, Lucy Arnaz, can't miss that one. Love her. Can't miss any of our episodes of the Jim Masters Show live. Good to see you tonight. Tudo joining us as well. Jen Barry wants Bill back. Absolutely. I love it. We shall do that. Your wish is our command. Thanks, Jim and William. My pleasure. Good stuff. Good stuff. You want me to have an Aunt Annie's pretzel with caramel sauce? Or is that what you're having? That was fun. Absolutely. We always have a lot of fun around here on the show. Thanks for bringing Patty and William to us. My pleasure, gang. My pleasure. You guys are the best, watching all around the world. The Lovely Squad. Beyond excited for Sunday's anniversary show. Have a wonderful Friday evening. And my friends and gang, if you want to send in a video to us that we can share on the show, some of you have, and our guests have as well, send them in quickly and we'll get them on the air. All right, we're going to wrap. This was a very busy day, but thanks for being with us. Got a busy weekend of episodes coming up. I've got a television news shoot early in the morning tomorrow, so I got to get up for that. Got a guest that has flown in from across the country for one of the other hats I wear in television. Celebrating the one and only Patty Duke today. William Jankowski, again, co-author of that iconic book, In the Presence of Greatness. And what a great conversation. Don't forget, folks, if you enjoyed this, give this episode a like. There's a little thumbs up icon on our YouTube channel. That's right. You see it there. Click like and leave a comment. Drop a comment for us as well. We really appreciate that. If you can drop a comment, do it before you leave. Right now, drop a comment on our YouTube channel. We would absolutely love that. We're very responsive. If you enjoyed this episode or any of the episodes you enjoy of the Jim Masters Show Live, Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show series, leave a comment on our YouTube channel. That really helps us. YouTube sees that and they blast this episode out even more to more viewers. That helps our series as well. So leave a comment, and we are very responsive. We thank you for that. Click the thumbs up icon there on our YouTube channel, and we appreciate that. And again, don't forget to hit that red button, that all-important red button. There is no cost when you subscribe to our channel. Just lets us know you're enjoying and appreciating what we do here at the Jim Masters Show, which is like a television show. We don't call this an interview show or a podcast. We actually do it like a TV series, playing off my work in the industry, and love it. If this was your first time here, we welcome you to the world of levity and the Jim Masters Show Live. Gang, be good to one another. Take care of one another. Love one another. And we thank you very much. We don't say goodbye around here. We say see you later. We say hasta la vista. Ciao, cheers, shalom, sayonara, and slancha, and all the rest. And a couple more comments we'll take a look at, and then we'll wrap it up. Thanks again for those of you who have been supporting our show and everything that goes along with it. That means a great deal. It takes a village. It really takes a village. And spread the word about our show too. Don't keep it a secret. If you enjoy what we do here, let everybody know about what we do. It's unique. It's special. We go the extra mile. And hopefully we knock your socks off in the process. Have a great evening, everyone, from Crystal. This is for the live audience, but if you're not watching this live, stay right there. Another incredible episode of the Jim Masters Show Live is right here. You can binge almost 700 episodes. Wow. You know, working in television, I can tell you it takes almost 10 years to do 500 episodes of a TV series. And we've done 700 of these in a 2-year period. Wow. And not just half-hour shows or 20-minute shows. I mean, these epic type things here, these Guinness World Book of Records shows. The guests are welcome to stay on as long as they like. Some guests, you know, they're in and out, you know, half hour, 40 minutes, 20 minutes. We work around their schedule. And I, of course, work around my schedule too. But some guests like to stay longer. You know, we let it roll. We don't say, you have to be on for an hour. You have to be on. We don't do that here. The guests are welcome to stay with us for as long as they want, as long as they can. We can cover a lot of different areas. There's no questions pre-screened or written. There's no teleprompter. It's all happening live, which I absolutely like. Keeps it real, keeps it authentic, keeps it fun, keeps it like you never know what's going to happen. And I think it's a lot deeper and warmer that way too. I think it's more, you know, connective for all of you watching. Looking forward to the anniversary show. Have a great night. Good night, all. Kathleen, send in your video too. We would love to see that. And thank you, Crystal, and thank you, Jane, and thank you, Jen, and everybody watching around the world live, or if you watch this later on. Okay, I've got a nice big Caesar salad waiting for me. I did not have dinner yet, and it's 9 o'clock at night. Typical for this industry we are in. We love you all. Be well. Take care, okay? We have the longest see you laters known to man and womankind, but we love it. Thanks for all of the time and attention. We'll see you on the next one. Again, we've got a busy weekend of celebration and great shows coming up for all of you, and then iconic guests next week. And I mean, we've got guests all the way into the end of June, just about. Did you ever dream that you'd have over 650 episodes archived when you started this 2 years ago? No. And many people, Maureen, said, they asked me in the beginning, were you going to do this just during the pandemic? The pandemic. I don't want to say it too loud. I don't want to trigger anything in the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm. But they said, did you plan to just come on for a while? Because when I first came on, if you look at the earlier episodes, it's just me talking to camera. I'm talking about the day. I think I'm reading celebrity birthdays, talking about my background. I think we did some childhood memory shows and a lot of fun stuff. And then guests wanted to start coming on the show. People who I knew personally, who I've interviewed professionally on television, and other friends from TV and Broadway and other areas of life wanted to pop on. So, and then it just steamrolled from there. And then we started bringing in guests. Sometimes we have some shows where we don't have a guest, where it's just you and me, or we do some other special things too, because it is the Jim Masters Show, and whatever I create and whatever I do for all of you. So, oh, I love this. And she knows it's in my favorite color, which is green. Dear management, Jim is awesome, and so is JMS Live. That is perfect. I love that, Kathleen, because that my father has always said that line. Whenever anybody says something kind or nice, ask them to, and it's a funny, witty line. That's why he says always said it. Whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, ask them to please put it in writing and address that management. And Kathleen, you did it, and you did a super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's a beautiful thing that helps support our show. I think that will cover one of the little light bulbs over there in that light. And it all helps. Thank you very much. You're the best, Kathleen. We really appreciate that. You are a classy, classy lady. Kathleen Walker in New York City. Thank you very much for doing that. We appreciate that. And Rhonda, good to see you in Virginia Beach. Sweet dreams to you as well. So yeah, like I said to Maureen, I didn't expect, you know, well, I sort of said, I'm going to run this for as long as I enjoy doing it, because it is a lot of work to put these kinds of shows together the way we do it. It's quite epic. And to do as many as we do, which is almost 7 days a week. Sometimes here and there, we're not, there's a family event I go to, or I'm on a TV shoot, or there's other things where life, is there to be lived. You have to have balance in your life. So, and I'm very big with that. So, and the ocean is going to be calling my name soon, and I'll be swimming in that ocean soon. But this has just turned out to be something spectacular, and to have the opportunity to also not only to welcome these fabulous guests, but also an international audience. We hear from not only across the United States, where this show originates from, but our neighbors in Canada, and we hear from throughout Europe and Asia and Africa and Australia, New Zealand, and places like Iceland and Japan. And it's really Greece. It's truly amazing. Hawaii, really amazing. So Alaska, just thinking about them all. Switzerland, yeah, Switzerland, and Ireland, and lots more. Wales, cool stuff. So, and Sweden, of course, and Finland, and all the great places. So cool stuff. Hopefully that answered the question there. And yeah, we'll have a good time this weekend. Thank you, Jane in Sweden. And the rest is JMS Live History. Thank you for continuing the levity. Good night, all. You've been with us a long time, Maureen. I know, and I love that. May your dreams be sweet. We realize that not everybody can be here live every single day. It's great when you are, and some of you are, which I think is really iconic. I think it's fantastic. But we realize, but what's really cool is you'll send notes and saying, oh, I have, this event I have to go to. I can't watch it live. I want to, I can't watch it live, but I'm going to watch it in the archives. So many of you will watch these episodes in the archives. And I think that's fantastic. That's why we archive them, because, obviously you can't watch everything as it's happening, because, you have to do food shopping and laundry, and there's other things that need to be done. But we are here for you. And whether you watch us live or you watch us Memorex, meaning you watch us later in the archives, that's fantastic. However you watch, wherever you watch from, the fact that you do watch and support and enjoy, that's what makes it worthwhile. For your host and executive producer, Jim Masters here. All right, we're going to wrap, which I think I said 20 minutes ago. We thank Bill as we celebrate the iconic Patty Duke, and we thank all of you for watching The Jim Masters Show. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about our series. We really appreciate that, and we'll see you on the next episode. Stay right here if you're watching this archived. Another episode comes right up. If you're watching live, we'll see you on the next one tomorrow. All right, take care and be well, gang. We love you all, and thanks for joining us on this episode of your favorite place to join for entertainment, inspiration, empowerment, craziness, good times, levity. We throw it all in, the whole thing, the whole ball of wax, the whole kitchen sink, whatever it is, and it shall be on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll see you again soon. Be well. Cheers.